Ready for another fancy flowering houseplant? Let's talk about Alsobia. What's up, fellow plant enthusiasts? My name is Dylan and this is Bane's Botanicals. Today we're going to be talking about Alsobia. Now this is an interesting little vining succulent that comes from Central America, and Alsobia Dianthiflora is the actual species name, was sometimes listed on tags as Dianthiflora alsobia, but Alsobia is actually the genus. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Alsobia only has 2 species in it, and Dianthiflora is one of them. Now, if I told you that this was called the lace flower, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that until you saw the actual flowers, which the petals look a little bit like they've been through a paper shredder. They're very beautiful. They're very small, however. And going off of that, we can kind of deduce what family this plant might actually be in, because most of our flowering houseplants fall into the family Gesneriaceae. So that being said, let's do this. Here is the taxonomy information for Alsobia. And Gesneriaceae has other genera of flowering plants in it, like Aeschynanthus, the lipstick plant, and Nematanthus, the goldfish plant. And I think Epischia is in Gesneriaceae too, which is the flame violet. And they all have kind of similar looking, almost tubular flowers. Is Streptocarpus in Gesneriaceae too? It might be, the African violet. Anyway, so they're very beautiful flowers. Obviously it's an interesting family because they have such exotic looks to them. You may even mistake this as a lipstick plant. Like if I kind of lift this up, and you guys can kind of see how it's kind of cascading down the side of the pot here. I mean, you may look at it and think, wow, that's a lipstick plant, but it's not. This is an Alsobia. And the difference is that these leaves, unlike Aeschynanthus, are significantly smaller. And because they're smaller, they're going to take a slightly bit different amount of care, and they do tend to shed. So if I lift this up and I kind of give it a little shake, maybe you saw a couple of either kind of crumpled leaves or just a couple of extra leaves fall off. That's just normal. That's just kind of what they do. I mean, when a plant has probably hundreds, if not 1,000 leaves or more on a single plant, you're going to naturally lose some. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's kind of like humans and hair. Like, we naturally just lose hair a little bit. It's not that we're going bald necessarily, but it just means that we're shedding, just like our animals. Not a whole lot to say about Alsobia. It's not one of those plants that you see a lot. This one was actually a plant from Costa Farms that I found. I believe it was at Lowe's, and it was just one, at the time it was flowering, and I kind of wanted it. I wanted to do a video on it more than anything else. So Athena is up here. You guys can't see her, but there she is. Okay, sit down, sit down. As far as care goes, this prefers bright indirect light. Since it is a flower, I mean, a lot of houseplants are flowering plants, but since this is one that will actually flower indoors, it needs that bright light. Direct sun, probably not. That might be a good way to scorch it, actually. I haven't tested it in direct sun, but it's usually safe just to do bright and direct. It does well under grow lights. This one's just been under grow lights, actually, and it's doing just fine. It's grown, it's trailing, the leaves are a nice, rich, verdant green color, so it's doing fine. As far as watering goes, just water it. Nope. Just water it like your other like some of your other houseplants. It doesn't really like to dry out all the way, but it does need to dry out a little bit. Not Aeschynanthus, Alsobia tends to behave like Aeschynanthus, the lipstick plant, because it needs a little bit more humidity. These plants they're very tropical, and they come from a specific area, and they just need that extra humidity. I haven't noticed this one suffering a whole lot from lack of humidity. I do have a house humidifier, and right now my humidity is a mystery. No, it is actually at 55. I'm at 55%, which tropical plants indoors prefer maybe around 60. I mean, anything above 70, you start getting into like potential mold issues, so you don't want to go there. But 55 isn't bad. Once it gets to be winter time here, it'll probably dip a little bit more. That's when I'll break out my humidifiers. But it does benefit from humidity. I wouldn't recommend misting it because these leaves, succulents don't tend to prefer to be misted anyway, because when the water sits on the leaves, it can actually rot the leaves and cause infections and things. So we don't want to mess with that. But these leaves are actually a little bit fuzzy too. And so it's kind of a double whammy because you don't want to mist succulents, but you really don't want to mist plants that have furry leaves. Because again, the furriness of the leaf will keep that moisture there longer than it needs to be, and it just causes problems. So as far as soil goes, I just have it in a regular houseplant soil, nothing special. It is in a terracotta pot. They don't want to stay wet necessarily, so that's why I went with terracotta, and it's been doing just fine. So did I miss anything? Oh, as far as fertilizer, I just do it bi-weekly during the growing season. Hi, sweetheart. And not at all during the dormant season, late fall, winter, early spring. And when you do fertilize it, it's not a bad idea to use a flowering plant fertilizer just so that you can kind of benefit from seeing the flowers, which will occur. I actually have my streptocarpus right there, which actually did start to flower finally once I was fertilizing it with the right stuff. So just look for that. It doesn't really matter what brand it is, just make sure it's specific for flowers. Other than that, there's not a whole lot to say about Alsobia. Let me know if you guys have ever had one of these plants or if you know what the other species of Alsobia is. I couldn't actually find it. Like I said, it's not the most common house plant there is, but it is actually quite beautiful. Just be prepared to sweep up the leaves every now and then. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is one of my new videos that I just came off of kind of a hiatus of about, nope, see? Don't do that. Of about 4 or 5 weeks, but I'm back. I'm making videos. Athena is so happy to, be here with me making videos. So until next time, I will see you guys very soon. I hope you've been doing well. Thank you so much for your likes and subscribes and everything. And until the next video, I'll see you soon. Thank you.